I just built the exact same voice AI automation on make.com and on n8n. Same integration, same data, same outputs, but one took me 15 minutes to make and the other took me more about 45 minutes. Oh, and the monthly cost, completely different story. If you're trying to pick between n8n and make.com for your voice AI build and you're stuck on understanding which one has better integrations, or you're just worried about picking the wrong tool and then having to rebuild everything later, this comparison is going to save you weeks of trial and error. And hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Mo from Sonar AI, and we build voice AI agents for small to medium-sized businesses. And if you are interested into seeing how could this fit into your own business, then I do invite you for a free consultation. I leave links in the description below. With that said, let's get right into it. A question that anyone that gets into voice AI has as a question, and I would break it down into an initial part. So depending on how technical you are, I would decide for taking the easier route at first and then perhaps looking into transitioning the skills and all the knowledge that you've acquired with one tool with the other. So here I'm talking about ease of use. When it comes to ease of use, I would say that make.com is a lot easier for anyone trying to start out to, let's say, get an automation up and running. And the reason for that is that make.com offers a lot more integrations with third-party tools that n8n doesn't. And that means that you would have to build your own HTTP requests, which honestly was very frightening for me at first. And this is actually the approach that I took. So I started with make.com, actually still use it till this day for many of my projects. And yeah, it's pretty good on, let's say, the ease of use part. But then when it comes to, let's say, transitioning and trying to make more complex logics and let's say requiring a bit more of developer tools, then I would consider looking into n8n. And of course, if you're someone that is a bit more technical perhaps and has a bit of experience with automation, perhaps you've dabbled with Zapier before, or I don't know, you have some JavaScript background because n8n is kind of built more on JavaScript, then n8n might actually be a better fit for you. n8n also allows you to write snippets of code, which, you know, if you're not afraid of that, that can be a good way to get a lot of coded mentality, like people who have a coder mentality, into using n8n. Now, another question is about costs. And this is an interesting one because it's a bit more layered and a bit more, let's say, nuanced. So if you're someone that is going to work with, let's say, not so many operations, so not having to, or just simply saying like, not having to use a lot of make or n8n, it might be interesting actually to look for, let's say, make.com for lower level of automation usage. That is because they have I think, 10,000 operations that should be at around $10, I think, which is, you know, like enough if someone doesn't have to do a lot of operations. But if you're someone that is going to rely a lot on, let's say, operations, then costs on make.com can actually stack up significantly. And that is because it is based on the, so like operations, and operations in make.com mean like the information passing from one module to the next, which if you have a big, I think you call it sequence. I'm now mixing the words because make.com and n8n kind of like have their own terms for things. But if you have like a workflow, yeah, let's call it a workflow, that is, let's say, long and complex, well, you're burning through a lot of sequences, you know, damn it. You're burning through a lot of, I think it's, yeah, and you miss it now. Anyways, you're burning through a lot of credits. Let's call it that way. And that can scale up pretty fast. So in a case where you're going to have to use a lot of operations, here it is, then I would recommend using n8n. Now, n8n has a similar, let's say, pricing if you're going for a self-hosted solution. So that means, n8n hosted solution. So that means that you're just using n8n like on cloud, like anyone can just sign up on their websites and you can get there. It's pretty similar pricing to make.com, but n8n has the option to self-host your own n8n on your own server, which is actually a pretty good way to save a lot of money on these operational costs, which stack up over time. So, and that is the reason now I actually use n8n. It's also for the cost reason, meaning that I can self-host n8n on, for example, Railway, and then I'm able to really reduce the cost of a lot of the let's say, operations that have to happen. So that means that I can build a lot more complex, workflows. And of course, hosting it on your own server, that means that you pay per usage. So it's not like it's kind of like set. You still have to, let's say, take into consideration how much you use. And of course, it's a lot more technical. So I would say that if you're a beginner, I would stick to n8n, make.com. And let's say, work with that, because it's a pretty good way to get good at automation, and it's really everything that you need for voice AI. If, let's say, cost is not your concern, if you don't have to do a lot of operation, make.com really gets everything that you need up and running. But yeah, if I have to give you my actually experience, I started with make.com, which, let's say, I chose that route because actually it had like a pretty generous free trial, same for n8n, but it felt less, let's say, scary. So I started with it, I learned to do proper automation, and then when I had to transfer or get to n8n, it actually was a pretty easy transfer. So I wouldn't worry too much about, getting locked in on one automation platform, simply because it's, you build skills that are transferable. So I wouldn't worry too much about, let's say, feeling locked in one and not being able to transfer to the other. Of course, there is, let's say, you have to get used to the interface, but after a week of trialing and, try and error, you pretty much end up being able to use both the platforms. So it's more about your problem-solving skills and transferring those skills from one platform to the next. All right, with that said, I hope I could give you my 2 cents on make.com versus n8n. Very heated discussion and debates. And I'm curious, which tool are you actually using? And if you have any questions, then please, I invite you to leave in the description, in the comments. And if you want to talk to me directly, I have a free consultation link that I leave in the description. And with that said, do invite you to subscribe for more videos just like this. I see you in the next one.